All right, children and teens' lives are about to dramatically change this fall when they return to the classroom. Districts across the state are working on their back-to-school plans in person right now. Joining us to talk about how to help them cope is Dr. Laura Saunders, child psychologist with Hartford Hospital's Institute of Living. Thanks for being with us, Doctor.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks. With the possibility of school resuming in the fall, how can parents prepare their children to return to school?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's the children we need to prepare. If you ask most children, they would relish going back to school. They really need the kind of structure, the academic stimulation, and the socialization. It's the parents I'm most concerned about, because parents really carry the fear, and when kids are taking on a lot of the anxiety, I think parents need to sort of check about how much anxiety they might be putting onto their kids.
So what would your advice be? I see this is a really hot topic on social media. People are really for it or against it. What would your advice be to parents?
Well, I think, again, there's different perspectives. The parents need to get as much information as they can. We really need to let the science drive the decision making and not just fear. For the most part, I mean, teachers have a whole other perspective, because teachers are really, the ones who are going to carry a lot of risk as well. But for the most part, parents can't do three jobs really well. They can't be a good parent, a good teacher, and a good at their occupation at the same time. So there's a lot of agendas here that really need to be managed, and there's some very difficult decisions that need to happen.
Wow, well said. What about kids who might pick up on their parents' anxiety and then start to exhibit signs themselves? What can parents do? What should they watch for?
I think having open-ended discussions where parents ask not yes or no questions, but what we call open-ended questions. What are your thoughts about returning to school? Is there anything that you're excited about? Is there anything that you're worried about? Don't just ask about the things that you're worried about. Always balance that with a more positive question. Use times that are more contained, driving in the car, having a meal together, to open up those discussions. And you may need to have multiple discussions to really see what your child's concerns might be or what their excitement might be.
And we've heard things about teachers possibly getting extra training on how to deal with some of these children emotionally. They're not getting the same children that left in March. The kids have been through a lot. Are you aware of any of that? Is that a good idea?
I think that's an excellent idea, because, besides teaching, socialization is a huge aspect of school, but what an additional burden on teachers. I do think kids are going to come back with a lot of gaps in their learning and some fear and anxiety. And remember, many of them have been isolated for months, and that really takes a toll as well.
And what other issues or questions are you seeing or hearing in these times as kids are going back to school in the fall as we know it right now?
Well, I think there's still a great deal of uncertainty about what that's going to look like. Every district is making different decisions. Are there going to be split models with some online and some in classroom? Differences based on age, elementary school, middle school versus high school. So I think it's still going to be a wait-and-see approach, but parents need to be open to information so that they can make their best decision.
All right, Dr. Laura Saunders, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your insight as always.
Thank you.